Okay, that's okay. We'll just starting. Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. What this really means is salutation to the lineage starting from Lord Sadashiva, Dakshinamurti, with Adi Shankara in the middle and with the continuance, all the gurus that we have faced till today, and meditate upon them and seeking their blessings. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, the second one says, salutations to the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. See, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva is referred as Brahma is the creator, Vishnu as the sustainer, and Maheshwara Shiva as the personification of dissolution. That is God, generator, operator, dissolver. That is what God is. Every human being calls God, but they have to know the difference. So that is that these three with they are all Saguna Brahma. That means they are avatars. Sakshat Parabrahman is the highest consciousness, which is referred to as Nirguna Brahma. So Nirguna Brahma and Saguna Brahma and all the gurus, we offer our salutation, seeking their blessings and guidance. And with that, with their guidance, we are starting this Bhagavad Gita course. So we are starting with Bhagavad Gita, Introduction to Mahabharata. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful text, beautiful philosophy, essence of scriptures. It's just the essence of scriptures, Vedas. The wisdom given in Gita is fulfilling, gives purity to the heart, sublime oneness and efficiency in all our actions. Because everyone's life is full of struggles, prides, and obstacles, it is a philosophy that teaches how to face the battles of life. Gita is painted on a canvas of Mahabharata. Gita teaches the techniques which we can follow on a day-to-day basis. Gita has 700 verses and we will cover the specific ones. Gita is from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a history and it is from Mahabharata has got 18 parvas, 18 sections. This is the sixth section. Bhagavad Gita is the sixth section of Mahabharata. And in sixth section, it is from chapters 25 to 42. Gita means song. There are several Gitas. We are focusing on Bhagavad Gita, Avadura Gita, Avaduta Gita, Ganesha Gita, Hamsa Gita, Kapila Gita. There are several Gitas, but we are focusing on Bhagavad Gita. Now, Mahabharata is a history. Iti ha hasa. It is referred to. Iti ha hasa means it definitely, undeniably happened. So there are two itihasas, Mahabharata and Ramayana. Rama Ayana in Sanskrit means path, the path of life. Rama was the epitome of human life. Mahabharata came later, also history, and it was written by Krishna Dvaipayana. Even though we say Veda Vyasa is the title. There are several Vyasas, but Krishna Dvaipayana is his name. The first original name of Mahabharata was Jayaha, meaning victory. Righteousness alone wins. Truth alone triumphs. Even if unrighteousness is at its height, finally righteousness alone will win. This name Jayaha was later changed into Mahabharata because Bharata was a king at some point. There are several other names also. Kurukshetra is where it's a location where the war happened or Bhagavad Gita was expressed. Dharmakshetra where the righteousness won. Both authors, Valmiki, who wrote Ramayana, and Vyasa, who wrote Mahabharata, they have extracted the content from Vedas. Both depicted Vedas in the form of stories because it's easier always to tell a story. Story is easy to grasp, to understand, and then use it in life. There are 18 Puranas. Puranas are referred to as moral stories. We read small books to our children, and then at the end there is one line, morals, morals. So are those. And those who have written Puranas are referred to as Pauranikas. Puranas means Pura Api Nava in Sanskrit. That means ancient yet new. It may be old stories, but it's still applicable to the humanity at all times. Any other article, scientific publication, discoveries, inventions could all become obsolete over a period of time, including novels, movies, anything. They all could be replaced by the new ones. But these two will never vanish because they say how to live and what is the purpose of human life. So as long as human life is there, this will not vanish. That is, talk about ultimate reality. The Mahabharata is the gist of Vedas. So it is referred to as Panchamo Vedaha, fifth Veda. And because Bhagavad Gita is also from Mahabharata, we can refer Bhagavad Gita also as Panchamo Vedaha. And both are referred as, Ramayana and Mahabharata, both are referred as Smriti in Sanskrit, S-M-R-A-T-I. Smriti means that which is recalled. Smaranam is recalled, that which is recalled and written. Vedas are referred as Shruti, S-R-U-T-I. That means that which is heard. So Vedas were heard by the ancient sages and rishis. So intuitively they received it and they taught to their successors. It was always passed on through voice, that which is heard. Shruti means that which is heard. So those rishis are called mantra drishta. So it was not written by any one individual. Like any other text we have, everything is written, there is an author. But for Vedas, there are no author. There is no author. Therefore, it is called Apurusheyam, another name for Vedas. So Vedas teaches the righteousness and ultimate knowledge to the entire humanities. Now, there are three texts, Upanishads, Gita, and Brahma Sutra. These three are called Prasthana Triya. Prasthana Triya means they are the source, they are the original. From there we get it. In Mahabharata, Sri Krishna's avatar, Krishna is an avatar of divine because that divine is indescribable. It does not have a, it's not an object of cognition. So it has taken an avatar. So avatar here, Sri Krishna's avatar is referred to as Purna avatar because only in this Bhagavad Gita he comes and talks to the humanity. He has taken several avatars, but never he did talk. He accomplished several things, but only in Bhagavad Gita he talks to people. So ava means coming down. Avatar means coming down as exact copy. So Krishna, Allah, Jesus, Ramnath Maharishi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, all are avatars. So avatar we can refer to as incarnation. There is a difference between incarnation and reincarnation. Incarnation is choosing to come back. Realized ones choose to come back. Reincarnation is ignorance. They reincarnate, they come back again until they realize who am I. That's self-knowledge. So Krishna is Purna Avatar, means only in Krishna Avatar he talks about it, he teaches, he guides, he is a mentor, he is a guru. So Vedas teaches the path of righteousness and self-knowledge to humanity. The animals do not need these things. They live and procreate and die. They live on instincts by innate nature. But humans live on intuition. Only a human can either be an animal, a human, or a divine. We humans have the power to choose. We are the product of our choices. A human alone can be grateful, vengeful, or forgiving. Animals don't have these things. They don't carry the past. Vedas helped the humanity to rise above from this human being to a higher plane of existence by teaching righteousness. And that righteousness alone, because of that righteousness alone, we live as a society, a community. Animals do not need a community, only humans need, because we are the product of choices. Superficially, the story of Mahabharata may appear as a family feud, but Vyasa wrote this to teach the subtlety of righteousness through various characters. He refers Ekalavan as for Guru Bhakti, reverence to Guru, Karna for Dharmam. There is a difference between Dhanam and Dharma. That is donation versus charity. Donation, Dhanam is when somebody is asking for something. Can you please give me? I don't have this. You give. That is Dhanam. Asked and given. Dharmam is you realize that person, oh, that person doesn't have this. Let me help him by giving him or her. That is dharma. Understanding the situation and giving is dharma. And dharma, when you have, has punya. Dhanam does not have. At one point in Mahabharata, Karna's wheel got stuck in mud, and Krishna went and asked for all the dharma. Can you give me dana? And he gave all his punyas. Because all the dharma was protecting him from dying. When Krishna requested as dhanam, and he gave dhanam, all his dharma got erased at that point, and Arjuna could kill him at that time. That's a different story in Mahabharata. So these are characteristics. Same thing with Dhritarashtra. He was literally and figuratively blind. He compromised everything for his children in Hastinapura. So the righteousness was compromised due to attachment. Now, what are the benefits of righteousness and following the path of righteousness? In today's society, many think that being righteous, truthful, honest won't help. We have to go with the flow. But we get something called punya, which is referred as adrishta, that is invisible benefit. For example, why do we earn money? We have been working and we earn money for 30, 40 years. Do we have all those currencies in cupboards and locked up 3, 4 cupboards? No. We spend that money to get something that gives us happiness, right? The focus is not on the cash, but what it can make me, it can get me to make me happy, right? I can derive something out of that cash. Just like how that cash helps us to acquire things to make me happy, so also dharmic living, righteous living, provides us everything that we need. That is the invisible benefit. Scripture says first you get a human body. Even to get a human body is because of righteous living in the past. Then number 2 is healthy body. We could have been deaf, dumb, blind, anything, but we have a healthy body. So all the necessities of this body, including parents, family members, friends, children, all these things are earned because of righteous living. Or else it could have been an animal body. It is not luck. There is no luck, accident. We create our own destiny. We create our blueprint. Just like we move from one home to the other home, we discard certain things, we take certain things and move on there and settle down. Same thing. When we take the next birth, we take our thoughts, words, and actions. So righteous living is not just the only reason why we have to listen, is the benefit, but the most important benefit to listening to all these scriptures is choose the goal of human bodily existence. That decision is made with righteous living to attain something that's supreme. That is not only the body, but also the Icha Shakti, we call it. That is the power to desire. The power to desire the higher. Now, all of you have come to this because there is a power to this. That desire is there. I want to know. To a toddler, you say there's a toddler of 3, 4 years, you give him a balloon, show a balloon and $100 bill. what do you think the child will pick? Balloon. The child does not know with $100 I can get hundreds of balloons, right? So to aspire, to desire to get the perishable, one doesn't need any power. Just leave the mind loose and it will go and get everything experience. That is why businesses are capitalizing on our desires. We are no longer customers, we are consumers because we keep consuming again and again and again on a daily basis. Even to desire to attain that ever-present permanence instead of the impermanence, ephemeral existence, righteous path alone can take us to that. I need to know the permanent existence. I want to study Bhagavad Gita is the superior wish to anything else. You all could have been doing something else, watching TV, watching games, doing something else. But you have taken that because of your righteous past living, you are drawn to this. Mahabharata teaches righteousness, the seed for liberation. It teaches the seed for liberation is nirvana, you can call moksha, you can call contentment, you can say anything you can say. Studying, grasping Bhagavad Gita is equal to studying Vedas. Now, we are going to, in chapter 1, Veda means knowledge, also a book of knowledge. Chapter 1 to 27 is a story, which is only in chapter 1 there will be a story. From chapter 2 on, there are no stories. There is only Krishna's talking. So all kinds of people, good, bad, and ugly, are depicted in Mahabharata. As an introduction to Gita, we will now see the background of Gita. What is the story behind this Bhagavad Gita? Why did Krishna advise Arjuna? Mahabharata is an epic with 100,000 verses. Mahabharata encompasses all secular knowledge. It depicts the day-to-day reality. Now I'm going to share you a screen before we enter into chapter 1. This is what we started with Sadashiva Samarambham, our invocation, salutation to the lineage, starting with the Lord Sadashiva as Dakshinamurti with Adi Shankara in the middle and continuing up to the recent teacher. So this is Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti symbol is this, if everybody knows. This tells you that index finger is Atman, which is in every body. And the thumb is Brahman. Atman and Brahman are one and the same. And these three fingers refer to body, mind, and intellect. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect. Or you can say, I am not this waking state, I am not this dream state, I am not this deep sleep state. I am the substratum, basis of all these three states. That is the symbolism of this. And his four students, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanantana, and Atanat Kumara, when Dakshinamurti showed this, they understood it. And we have listened to so many YouTube, so many things, so many times we have studied, but we have not understood yet. So that is why Bhagavad Gita is important. And if you wonder what is behind, under the right foot of Dakshinamurti, that is the ignorance. Ignorance of not knowing who am I. So he's pressing that and he is teaching the students. So this is our prayers to start with. This is the second one. All religions, they pray to God. God is generator, operator, dissolver. So these three are called as Saguna Brahma. Saguna means with guna. Okay. Now these are three Prasthanatriyam. Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita are called Prasthanatriyam. Shruti Prasthana. This is called Shruti Prasthanam. That means it was revealed text. Whereas these two are Smriti Prasthana. Smriti means something that I heard, I wrote it, now we are talking about it. So Shankara and others, Vyasa have written it. So that is from gist of Vedas. Mahabharata was written by Krishna Dvaipayana and he taught his son Sukha first Shukar taught to Gaudapada Acharya. Gaudapada Acharya taught to Guru Govinda Bhagavad Pada. He taught to Adi Shankara, and Adi Shankara has 4 students. And that's how it will start. It is coming from generations. So this is Mahabharata text. It's a history that happened in Dwapara Yuga. So all animals, they are born as such and live and die, eat, sleep, and procreate. They live on instincts, whereas humans live on intuitions. You know, if it is licking, that is a cat. No other animal does this. This is strong, huge. This one is focused vision. Dogs they understand human emotions. No other animal understands. So you can pinpoint, this is, based on their behavior, you can pinpoint this is this particular animal, right? And whereas so instinct is an automatic response to external stimuli, and intuition is the guiding light that comes from the inner wisdom. So, what qualifies one as a human? What is the specific characteristic of a human? Human have the ability to choose, one's attitude. No other animal has that behavior. Man alone can be a human, an animal, or a divine. We are the product of our choices. Now, when Mahabharata was written, this is Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa asked Ganesha, could you write what I say? And Ganesha said, as long as you don't stop saying, I will keep on writing. So Vyasa said, if so, you should write only when you understand the meaning of it. If you don't understand, don't write it. That's what, and they both agreed, and Ganesha took his tusk and he started. That is why he is referred to as Ekadanta, because he took the second one and started writing Mahabharata. Now, there are 4 yugas according to Vedic period of time. Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Krita Yuga is also called as Satya Yuga. The ages see a gradual decline of dharma, wisdom, knowledge, intellectual capability, lifespan, and emotional and physical strength. So this is golden age, silver age, bronze age, iron age. So we are currently in this age, Kali Yuga, 432,000 human years, Kali Yuga. Twice is this one, Dwapara Yuga. 3 times is Treta Yuga. 4 times is Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga. At this point, there were 100% virtues in the humanity. Here, when we come to Treta Yuga, there was 3/4 virtue. Divya, could you please mute? 3/4 virtue and 1/4 sin. Here it is 50% virtue and 50% sin. Here it is 3/4 sin and 1/4 virtues. Now, human height at that time was 31 feet. Then it came down to 21 to 10.5. Now it is 5.5. At that time, lifespan of a person was 100,000, 100K, 100,000, and death occurred only when willed, because everything was Satya. Okay, 100% virtues. Then it came down to 10,000 years. Then it came down to 1,000 years, and today it is 100 to 120 years. Now, where Mahabharata took place. This is Kurukshetra. This is where Mahabharata took place. This place is Astinapura. That's where they lived. And this Kauravas gave Pandava the Indraprastha. That is this place. So I just thought I'll show you in the map. So Kurukshetra is this place. This is where the war happened between Pandavas, 5 Pandavas and 100 Kauravas with their group, with their team. Anything and everything that we experience or see in this world today is in Mahabharata. Nothing that is here is not there. Everything that is there is available today. You can see that. So here is the introduction to Mahabharata. There was a king Shantanu who married Ganga. And they had one son whose name was Devavrata. Devavrata. Devavrata, also called as Ganga Putra, because King Shantanu had married Ganga. And then Ganga separated. as happens even today. Okay, Ganga Putra Devabrata, and then he took Devabrata took a vow, two vows, therefore he is referred to as Bhishma, to be always in celibacy. And he is also called as Pitamaha, meaning grandfather. So once he left, King Shantanu was depressed. He missed his wife and then he met Satyavati. He wanted to marry Satyavati. Then he married Satyavati. He had two sons, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada died in a battle. Vichitravirya was ready to be crowned. So those days, and when these two were in toddlers, less than 6 years old, his father passed away, King Shantanu. So Bhishma was the older brother, step brother. He was guiding them. Bhishma won Ambika and Ambalika in a Swayamvara. Those days, the girls used to self-choose, so which is happening today also. So he got daughters of Kashya, king of Kashi. Amba said, no, I am in love with Salva king. I am not coming with you. And she went back. So he brought Ambika and Ambalika. And Ambika gave birth to Dhritarashtra. Ambalika gave birth to Pandu. And these two ladies, in those queens, they had a maid who's called Haimadri. She delivered Vidura. So Dhritarashtra king was born blind. He married Gandhari. Again, Dhritarashtra with another maid, her maid Sugandha had a son whose name is Yutsu. The pink one names are important. Yutsu and Dhritarashtra had 100 sons and 1 daughter. Pandu married Kunti and Madri. Kunti had Yudhishthira, Arjuna and Bhima. Madri had Nagula and Sakadevi. And Haimadri had Vidura, who was the chief advisor to this king Dhritarashtra. Now this Kunti's brother was Vasudeva, and that Vasudeva's son is Krishna. So Krishna and Arjuna, they are cousins. Now the war happened between these Pandus and this Kauravas, that is King Dhritarashtra's sons, 100 sons, and this Pandavas. That's how the war happened. Because it is more like a family feud for the property, which is happening even today. A war between dharma and adharma, righteousness and unrighteousness, right versus wrong. So Pandavas are 5 brothers. Yudhishthira was a very righteous person. Arjuna was a great archer. Bhima was a wrestler. Nagula was very extremely good in horsekeeping, breeding, and training. Sahadeva was very intellectual, astrology, politics, economic, and civil administration. Duryodhana was very good in Maka training, which is this one. And he was ready for fighting the 100. So 5 versus 100, which even today we see this, there are 5 good people, there are hundreds of others. Now this is the difference between dana and dharma. So dharma gives adrishtapala, holy. Dana, when not done, it gives sin. Okay? So in the war, there were Kauravas had 11 Akshahonis, means 8 battalions. So total of 18 battalions. Pandavas had 7. There were total of 18 battalions. And each battalion consisted of 20,000 elephant chariots, 65K horse chariots, 100,000 foot soldiers. Imagine the loss. Millions of people died in that war. Mahabharata had 18 sections, parvas. Gita is the 6th parva with 18 chapters. There were a total of 18 battalions. The war was fought for 18 days. There are 18 Puranas. 18 is very important in our scriptures. We'll go further. So we'll stop here and we'll come back to this. Okay. So now Dronacharya is the teacher, guru, who taught the archery to all the 105 boys. Bhishma taught the life skills and moral values. Duryodhana was jealous of Pandavas because they were proving better, and he knew Yudhishthira is the eldest son and he is going to get the kingdom. So here the idea is do not be jealous. Do not compare yourself with anybody else. That's the point here. So Yudhishthira represented righteousness, Duryodhana represented unrighteousness, right versus wrong. Duryodhana tried to kill Pandavas on several occasions. Once he tried to poison Bhishma. Finally, Pandavas, the first son, Yudhishthira, was declared as a prince to get crowned as a king's successor. That brings out the characters and the dharma. Dharma includes dharma. See, every Sanskrit word had minimum 26 meanings. That is why it must be listened first, because if I know 10 words, I will put my 8th word or 5th word in that and then understand it that way. So you may put, if you know 20 words, you may put 18th word. Somebody may put 5th word. So the perspective changes. That is why it must be listened to it so that the intent and meaning is conveyed, is understood. So here dharma means duty. Rules, the dharma also means orderliness, rules and conducts of a nation. It also means goodness. So Duryodhana was planning to remove Pandavas from the kingdom by several ways. He once built a wax house and sent Pandavas there and his mother, and so he could burn it down. Vidura helped and they escaped. Everyone thought Pandavas were dead. They were away for 12 years. During the time, they learned many skills, made many allies. After that, they came back to Hastinapura and asked for their kingdom after 12 years. The gurus, the Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Bhishma, and Father Dhritarashtra tried to convince Duryodhana to give back what he deserved, what the Pandavas deserved, but he would not budge. Krishna went as an ambassador and tried to negotiate for 5 kingdoms out of the entire globe. Give 5 kingdoms. No, he would not give. 5 villages. No, I'm not going to give. 5 houses. No, I'm not going to give. That is referred as Samadana Veda Danda. Anytime there is a dispute, you always try to first conciliation, then try to give gifts, that is bribery, then comes rupture the direction, who is guiding that person, that is next to Veda, then finally you use the force. You do not use force initially. Diplomacy, sacrifice, division, punishment last. So total unrighteousness, Kauravas and Pandavas decided to fight for righteousness. Or else, if we don't fight, we are encouraging unrighteousness. So stand up for what is right, even if you are standing alone. Helen Keller was saying that, right? So remain firm and fight for unrighteousness. Active resistance to evil, not tolerating evil, is one of the statements by Swami Chinmayananda. Just like we have some disease, immediately the blood cells will rise up to fight against it. We have an infection, WBC rises. That is natural, normal. You have to fight against it. So, therefore, the war became imminent and both got their allies. Both Duryodhana, Kauravas and Pandavas approached Krishna. Duryodhana came early and Krishna was lying down and sleeping. At that time, Duryodhana came and sat next to his head, thinking that he is going to open and see me first, so I can ask what I want first. And Arjuna came and he sat under the feet. So when Krishna opened his eyes, he saw Arjuna first. And Duryodhana wanted to ask for his battalions, Krishna's battalions. Krishna had 7 battalions. So he asked for it, but Arjuna, because Arjuna came first and Arjuna was seen first by Krishna, Arjuna asked for you, I want your support. He did not ask for battalion, he asked your support. So Krishna supported Arjuna and Duryodhana got Krishna's battalions. Okay, so he says, I have a great army, I will give you my army to one, but I will be on the other side, but I will not fight, even if I'm in the army. So then at that time, the location and date of war was decided. We have seen that. And we have seen the battalions also. The army battalions were 18 total. Kauravas were weak among themselves. Each one had their own personal agenda, personal motive. Bhishma said, I need to protect the kingdom, so I am not going to kill Pandavas. And Drona said, I will fight, but I will not kill Pandavas because they are also my students. I don't want to kill them. So there was a personal enmity prevailed between Karna and Bhishma, Drona and Duryodhana. There was an undercurrent animosity. On the contrary, Pandavas were very organized, united, followed the path of dharma, righteousness. They fought with enthusiasm and zeal, and they were always positive. Pandavas won the war, and Yudhishthira ruled and later gave the kingdom to Parikshit. Parikshit is the grandson of Arjuna. Arjuna's son is Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's son is Parikshit. Then later on, Parikshit got the land. Now we are going to chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Chapter 1 starts with, if you look, I will show you in the screen later. Chapter 1 starts with the word dharma. Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, starts with dharma. And chapter 18.78 verse ends with mama. That means mama duty. So the entire text is about my duty as a human being. Okay. So verse 1, Dhritarashtra was a blind king. The war was about to begin. Sage Vyasa wanted to give eyesight to Dhritarashtra. You are blind, I would like to give you eyesight. And Dhritarashtra said, no, I don't want my eyesight because I have not seen my children born or grown and playing and learning everything. But now I don't want to see them in the war front because he was already in doubt that in his mind, he knew that what he is doing is not right. It's not dharmic. So now at this point, both armies are ready to fight. Dhritarashtra asked a question to Sanjaya. Vyasa gave the eyesight to Sanjaya. Sanjay means one who has conquered his likes and dislikes, unbiased, objective, not taking sides. That is the meaning. So because only those people, that kind of attitude can get the divine vision. Seeing the unity in diversity, seeing the oneness in all, one alone is. So Sanjaya was in that bhava. So Vyasa gave eyesight to him. So Sanjaya could see what is happening in the war, listen to what Krishna is saying, and explain it to Dhritarashtra. That is those days, TV was there. That is the first TV, okay, in Dwapara Yuga. So he's saying, first verse is saying, what are our people and Pandu's sons are doing in the war? His question reflects his bias, selfishness, interest towards his side, favoritism, even though the other side is only his brother's children. The question is, what are our people and Pandu's children, sons are doing? Now Duryodhana is there. So his first son Duryodhana, he compares the armies on either side and speaks to his teacher Dronacharya in a condescending way. Duryodhana word refers to the one who cannot be defeated easily in a war. But because he grabbed Pandavas there, he lost that ability, feels insecure and diffident at the start of the war. He talks to his teacher Drona, who is a very righteous person, kind, generous, and objective. But Duryodhana is very arrogant, with an arrogant attitude, being insecure at that time. As he was fully aware that what he was doing was wrong, sees his teacher's kindness as a negative attitude, as a negative quality in the war front. So we are going to go through all this now. So here in 2 to 15 is a description of the kings who all fought in the Kauravas side. 6 to 24 are the kings who participated in the war and who are, so we are not going into the details of those names and who warred from which country, which part of the kingdom. We are not going to go into those details. You can read it and understand it. If we don't need those details. So verse 21 to 27, we saw the story. Verse 22, he says, Arjuna commands his charioteer. See, at this point, Arjuna is the boss, right? He is this Krishna is a driver. Just like we tell our driver, can you drive this car there? So he's telling, he commands his charioteer Krishna to park in the middle of between the two armies. So verse 24 to 27, Arjuna sees the opponent party. He sees his grandfather, his teachers. Then he says in verse 28, Arjuna came to fight a war, fight the enemies, and is now caught in emotion. He's caught in attachment to his gurus and grandfather. He's now engulfed in sorrow, and he is deluded. Should I do it? He's not sure what to do. He's panicking. He experiences dry mouth, nervousness, anxiety, and agitated. Emphasis that whatever needs to be done, stay focused without distractions and get it done. Arjuna is now in attachment, sorrow, and delusion. Attachment always precedes any sorrow. We want something or someone due to attachment. When we don't get it, there is a disappointment, sadness, leading to delusion to get it somehow by hook or crook. Verse 31 to 45, he says, Arjuna defends himself, justifies his behavior, argues with Krishna by mentioning the consequences of war on humanity. Verse 31, he says, I am not interested in this war. I do not want to fight. I am not interested in this kingdom or victory. This war is not a righteous act. He is in delusion. When deluded, what happens is the right appears to be wrong and the wrong appears to be right. It gets interchanged. This delusion is because of attachment. When one wants power, we can see even today when wants one power or position, by hook or crook, they will make it happen. Stepping on others' toes, boss taking the credit of the employees. We see such characters even around us today. Now, whatever we do, there are two factors that can be done. One is what is right and what is wrong. We can choose and do it. Or I like to do it and I don't like to do it. If I don't like to do it, I won't do it. If I like to do it, I'll do it. So what is right and wrong? Every being born as a child is intelligent. But we think they don't know, and we have to keep on guiding them, telling them that's why children feel that parents are nagging. A 2-year-old, 3-year-old, my grandson was there. I'm going to give some of the examples. He was throwing ball at home inside. I stopped him. You're throwing ball, what do you think will happen? And his response was, it can hit you or it can hit the window glass, and window glass can break. He's 3 years old. What do you think? Is it the right thing to do? No, it's not. I won't throw ball inside the house. Did anybody teach? Instead of saying, don't do it, you ask them. They will come up with answers. They know more than us because every being is intelligent. Say what I like and what I don't like. A teenager, say for example, a teenager, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. You ask that child, my sister has come with her children. Can you take them to a movie? Oh, yeah, I'll take them to a movie. And he's enjoying and he's taking the cousins to movie. But after a week, I asked that same child, hey, you know what? I have a conference call tomorrow. My dad has got a doctor's appointment. Can you take him to the clinic? And he says, no, dad, no, mom. I have got a homework. I don't have time. Now, this is something he liked first. Now here he doesn't like to do this, so he doesn't want to do it. So those are the things that we have always, every human being goes through. Things that must be done, or I know what is right and what is wrong. We still choose the wrong one. And I like to do this, I don't like to do this, still we choose the wrong one. So it's up to us to think us. So Shastra emphasizes ahimsa, but at the same time encourages war here. Seems contradictory, right? There are many arguments I have heard that Gita is encouraging violence. It is also written in some of the books. But it is the utmost duty of a warrior to fight for the common good, to stand up for against the evil, especially a soldier, a warrior. Whenever a doubt arises between Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma, that is one's duty and special duty. Special duty takes precedent to the individual duty. So that's again given in Vidura Nidhi, verse 5.11 in Mahabharata. Say, for example, Samanya duty is my duty, and Vishesha Dharma is my special duty, right? So we quarantine a COVID patient in the family for the benefit of the entire family. We have seen it recently. We amputate a toe because of diabetic infection to protect the entire body. So that's what Viduranidhi talks about. We will see that also in the slide. So Arjuna's duty was to fight for righteousness. He did not come to fight for selfish reasons, but to maintain righteousness, fight against evil. We humans have the power to choose our actions. If you know what your duty is and you like it, there is no problem. Sometimes they do not match. Arjuna's fight was not for selfish interest. He did not come here to fight to expand his kingdom. This was war against unrighteousness. So do your duty is the statement, not fight. Even though he was told to fight because he was a warrior, and his duty is to fight. Now, duty is primary duty and special duty. And duties, that is Swadharma versus Vishesha Dharma. Swadharma does not change with space, time, or person. For example, do not lie, do not steal, do not abuse others, ahimsa. This is all Swadharma. That means every human's duty. These are right applicable to the entire humanity. Whereas the Vishesha Dharma, special duty, changes with space, time, and person to person. Say same ahimsa. Ahimsa is for a soldier, means he cannot say, I don't want to fight. That his duty is to fight. If there is a surgeon who is doing a surgery on a patient, he cannot say, I'm not going to cut you with a knife. But it is not applicable. A murderer cannot say that. A civilian cannot say that. A surgeon can cut. That is his primary duty. It becomes primary duty for a warrior and a surgeon. So these are the differences. What are my primary duty with which ashrama? As a brahmachari, what are my duties? As a grihastha, what are my duties? Those things are coming in further in other chapters. So Arjuna is well aware of right and wrong. What is dharma and what is adharma? Before fighting outside, he had this inner conflict. My duty is to fight, but how can I kill my grandfather Bhishma and my guru Dronacharya? A conflict between the attachment and duty. This leads to sadness and sorrow. We can see that even in a transactional reality, we have to remove the ventilator of somebody. My mother is in deathbed. Doctor says she cannot live longer. I have to remove the ventilator. I have the attachment. After all, she is my mother or my partner, my child in the hospital. How can I remove that ventilator? That is my duty versus attachment, right? Euthanasia for pets, putting it to sleep. So desire or attachment starts first. And when that desire is not fulfilled, sorrow follows. Ragam is like likes and attachments, is often followed by sadness. Arjuna is not afraid of that enemy, but his mind is caught between attachment and duty. Now, what is delusion? The third one is delusion. First one is ragam, attachment. Second one is sorrow. Third one is delusion. Delusion is seen in the intellect. The mind has likes and dislikes, sorrow, jealousy, anger, worry, fear. All those things are emotions in the mind. Intellect is a faculty that analyzes and makes decision, decides what is right and what is wrong. Arjuna, with all valor and strength, came to fight the war with enthusiasm. Now starts arguing, justifying his hesitations to fight. He becomes defensive. For him, the right and wrong are interchanged. See, for example, again, another example. We have our neighbor child comes to our house, play, and suddenly lies down on the floor and throws tantrum. Now, we are going to say immediately, the parents did not raise that kid well. That is our comment. Now, when my child does it, 3, 4 years, my child does it, oh, he's only small, little. After 2 years, he'll get better. See, do you see the difference? Attachment response and without non-attachment response. So that's how we judge ourselves by our intentions and we judge others by their behavior. The mind has desires and tries to convince the intellect. Desire deludes the intellect. The only enemy is the mind. Now there are very classes on emotional intelligence for the past 20 years. How to be emotionally stable. Now, verse 38 to 45, Arjuna talks about the consequences of the war. Krishna is just listening. So he's saying families will be destroyed, the entire kingdom won't be in peace, all men will be killed, causing heavy loss to the families. The deceased will not be remembered as well because the Pitra Karma is done by the men. So annual rituals. Verse 46 is the end. He says, he who came to fight the war ferociously with full valor against Duryodhana and Kauravas, atrocities towards Pandavas, now concludes, even if they kill me, I am prepared to die. I will not fight the war. And he sits down, dropping his powerful weapon, his bow and arrow. He is now completely immersed in attachment, sorrow, and delusion. With this, chapter 1 ends. I'm going to share the screen for chapter 1. It is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the sadness of Arjuna. This is verse 1, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetra. Starts with Dharma, ends with Mama Dharma, my duty. This is the Vidura Nidhi. And here he's saying, renounce one person for the sake of the family, a family for the sake of village, a village for the sake of country, and the country for the sake of one's own sake. What does mean? What it philosophically means is you sacrifice the entire world for self-realization. Who am I? Find out who am I. That's the question. And he was the chief advisor of King Dhritarashtra in Hastinapur. This is blind king, and his wife Gandhari, she also blinded herself so that she doesn't enjoy what her husband doesn't enjoy. Here is Veda Vyasa, he is offering eyesight to blind king Dhritarashtra, and then he offers it to his charioteer Sanjay. Here, Sanjay is watching what is happening in the war and describing everything to Dhritarashtra. Chariot is stationed in between the Kauravas and Pandavas. People may ask, how long did they stand there? This is a no man's land. They are not, according to the war Parva, he's not supposed to fight from that place. That is why he waited there. And Krishna was advising him. This is Bhishma, grandfather. This is Duryodhana, the teacher who taught all the 105 boys. And this is family guru Kripacharya. Now, the war started. They are blowing their horns. And Arjuna is disillusioned, and he doesn't want to fight anymore. Why this story? This brings the guru and disciple together to know the mindset of the people, of the disciple. And we are all in that state. We often think, should I do this or should I not do this? What is right? What is wrong? Sometimes we get confused. And then what is in this world will never give me happiness is the disciple's mindset. Anything, I may have $100,000 in my bank account, but it is not going to help me when I'm sick, right? Nothing can help me. It's only the mind, my mind. That is why they say, watch your mind. It is a big chapter in chapter 6. It's all about mind. Attitude of the seeker, the disciple. I don't know anything. I want to know, an open mind to listen. The more we think that I know, the way that the humility is not going to be there. I don't know anything. Teach me. Again, from my personal experience, I came to this country and I lost my husband at the age of 50. I had never worked for a paycheck. At the age of 50, I started my first job. At that time, I didn't know how to interact with men. I never shook hands with a man. I never hugged a man. To start with basic behavior. So I started that time. I prayed to God. I said, I don't know anything. I'm a kindergartner. When my mom drops me in school, I go to school. When teacher says it's time to go home, I go home. That's all I know. I surrender unto you. You guide me, you teach me, you take me. From that day onwards, I did my best every day. And I got promoted 7 times in 10 years. I started as an entry level. I went to regional manager. So this is because you have to know that you have to think that I don't know. There's so much to learn. The more you learn on a daily basis, you are growing. The moment you think I know it all, you are brown and dead. That's it. So that attitude should be there. That is humility. Humility should be there towards Guru and scriptures. Here, Guru means Shankara or Krishna. Okay. What type of Guru? There are two types of. There's two different types of Guru. One is Stotranyan, Brahmanishta. Stotranyan is one who has been a guru, who has been a disciple, and he had a guru, and that one had a guru. Like Shankara had a Govinda Bhagavad Pada had Gauda Pada. 3 generational gurus should be there. If anybody is teaching, don't watch out, because their opinions can be added. I am a Chinmaya Mission student for the past 25 years. I started in 1998. So there are several gurus before me that they have taught me. And with the blessing of my guru, I called them and said, I'm going to start this class. And he said, am I doing plagiarism? I asked my teacher, I feel guilty for doing this. He said, no. It has to come from generations. So I learned from my guru Chinmayananda. Chinmayananda's disciple taught me this. So I'm teaching this. It has to be 3 times. That is the Parampara Guru. Brahmanishtan is what you teach, you have to practice on a daily basis. That is Brahmanishta, is firmly grounded in that knowledge, not just preaching. That is another tool. So that is a good, what type of guru. This is what we have learned today. And this is a summary of the whole thing. Verse 1 is a blind king's question regarding the status of war. Verse 2 to 15 is a description of who warrior kings on Kaurava side. 6 to 24 is description on who the warriors on the Pandava side. 21 to 27 is story that we saw earlier, a family tree. 22 is Arjuna commands charioteer Krishna to park in between the armies. 24 to 27, Arjuna sees the opponent enemies and sees his grandfather Bhishma and 2 teachers, Dronacharya and Kripacharya. Arjuna is engulfed by attachment, sorrow, and delusion. Arjuna defends himself by justifying his behavior not to proceed to fight the war. Verse 46, he lays down his archery and hesitates to fight and is prepared to be getting killed. Arjuna is emotionally degraded, confused, and panicked at this point. So we stop there. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.